Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is a video series 3, part 4. In this part, I would like to share with you some highlights on how some hot topics in the society are addressed in the new states series. In the new philosophy series, every individual in the states has its own original wills and social wills. On the left branch, the original wills of the individual is inherited from the mankind. The original wills of the individual drives the basic rights of the individual. The basic rights of the individual consist of the basic freedom and the basic interests. The basic rights include also the privacy and limited private property. On the right branch, the individual obtains social wills from the society. The social wills of the individual drives the social rights of the individual. The social rights of the individual consist of social freedom and social interests. As you could see from the previous parts of this video series, the 4 original wills are reasonably balanced. They have self-balancing power. The basic freedom and the basic interest of an individual are therefore limited. On the other hand, the 4 social wills are not balanced. The social will of group efficiency is dominant. The 4 social wills don't have the self-balancing power. The social freedom and social rights of an individual therefore could become unlimited. They would damage the basic rights of all the individuals in the states. Therefore, they should be limited by the states. First of all, we should be aware of the key role of individualism in the creation of the mankind, its early evolution, and their exploration of the whole world. I have explained this in video series 2. Privacy is the precondition for the full utilization of the individualism of the mankind by each individual. Privacy creates the necessary conditions for the individuals to realize the features of their original will of individual happiness and original will of individual efficiency. For instance, for love, happiness, and creativity. Privacy creates also the necessary conditions for the individuals to realize the features of their original will of group efficiency. For instance, for reproduction, private communication, and help each other. I should point out that privacy is not only a part of the basic rights of an individual in the states, but also a part of the basic public rights of the states. This is because privacy benefits the states directly. Free speech and free publication are 2 hot topics in all societies today. The discussions are often based on beliefs, interests, and laws. They are not accurate. The New States theory gives free speech an accurate definition. In the new state theory, the original wills of the individuals should always be protected, where the social will of the individual could be limited by the social public wills of the state. This sets a solid base for the discussions on what the individual could and could not do in a state. If the behavior of an individual is driven by the original wills of the individual, the behavior has no social purpose. The behavior is a part of the basic rights and the privacy of the individual in a state. The behavior should not be constrained in a state. On the other hand, if the behavior of an individual is driven by the social wills of the individual, the behavior has a certain social purpose, for instance, being aimed at the changes in the state. This behavior is a part of the social rights of the individual in the state. The behavior could be constrained by the social public wills of the state. I list a few examples here. If a speech by someone is made without a social purpose in a private and public occasions, it should not be constrained. If a publication is only for research purpose, it should not be constrained. On the other hand, if a speech in a social gathering is with clear social messages, it is subject to the constraints in the social public wills of the states. Social equality is also a hot topic in every society today. To get rid of social inequality is a popular slogan in political movements or revolutions. But social inequality continues after each political movement or revolution. One of the reasons is the wrong definition of social equality. The existing definition of social equality is a false and an illusion. This is because equal voting rights or redistribution of wealth in states don't mean necessarily social equality. As you could see in part 2 of this video series, social wills of every individual in the states are different. It leads to different social rights for individuals in the state. For instance, a social elite has always more social rights than the majority and the creators have in the states. It's just crazy or misleading to claim that everyone in the states has the same social rights. The social equality should be defined as following. Always protect the basic rights of all individuals in the states. Protect social rights of the majorities, including the creators in the states, and limited the social rights of the social elite in the states. It is clear that everyone in the states is equal in basic right, but not equal in the social right. The human rights is also a hot topic in a society today. when you look at what the politician and the social elite do with the human rights today, you would see that the existing human rights definition functions more like a political instrument. This is because the existing definition of the human right is not clear enough. Its effectiveness in protecting the majority of the human being is uncertain. In the new state theory, the human rights equals to the basic rights of an individual. This is because the basic right is universal. It reflects the basic property and demands of the mankind. The basic right is well defined, concrete, and measurable. This is because it is linked directly to the features of the original will of the mankind. You could find the exact definition of these features in my book. On the other hand, the social right is not universal, which could be constrained by the social public rights of the state. This is because the social wills of the individuals in the state is subject to the constraints of the social public wills of the states. Increasing the political consciousness of all citizens is a dream of politicians and many scholars in social sciences. If we look at the history, the impact of social movements or revolutions on ordinary people varies from negative, neutral to positive. The majority is often the victims of the social elite. A social event could produce different results. For instance, if the basic right of the majority was under threat and the social movement or revolution aims at restoring the basic right of all people, it produces most likely positive result. On the other hand, if the basic right of the majority was not really under threat, and the social movement or revolution aims at a redistribution of the social right, it produces most likely negative result. As a basic principle in the new state theory, the basic rights of the majority should always be respected in any social event. Increasing political consciousness of majority should not be abused by the social elite. With this remark, I would like to close part 4 of video series 3. Thank you for your attention.